There's two things that I've learned from running the Forge. The first thing is that everyone who enters is forever changed. Whether it's your confidence, your resilience, your courage, your ambition, members emerge ready to make significant impact. And number two, all members share something in common, a desire to answer the call. They were listeners of the Badass Agile podcast, and they just knew that they had to belong to something big, a new movement. They knew they were home. It was a must for them. Does that sound like you? Well, don't accept ordinary. Finally, have the certainty, the influence and impact that you desire. Come and join the Forge today. Now accepting applications for the fall 2021 cohort. Link is in the show notes below. In my experience as a consultant and in running the Forge, there's one failure, there's one problem that plagues all teams and kills all progress, and that's a failure to execute. Half-hearted promises followed by half measures and poor accountability. Let me tell you all about it this week on the Badass Agile podcast. Greetings, team. Welcome to the Badass Agile podcast. I'm your host, Chris Williams. Welcome back, friends. Great to see you. I want to thank you for tuning in this week and every week. I thought this would be a good time to reflect on the one thing that I've learned from all my time in consulting, all my time around Badass Agile, and all my time working in the Forge and beyond. It's the one learning that I think has been the most important teaching from Scrum itself. And that is that forward momentum requires the consistent application of small commitments that are diligently kept and the discipline to apply this consistently over time. I've spoken about these many times in the podcast, but I want to repeat it and revisit it because I think of all the human challenges that I encounter in teams, this one is the most problematic. Why can't people keep their word? Well, before we get into it, let's take a moment to remember why we're here. To create an elite tribe of leaders who truly serve their clients and communities by doing what matters and what works, relentlessly chasing value and excellence like a badass. There are so many resources about what you need to do to be agile, but we're focused on who you need to become in order to lead teams. So let's hammer down those fundamentals to create a truly unique and powerful force in this industry. And remember, if this helps you, just tell your friends. So this problem of accountability or discipline, or maybe it's a combination of the two, exists everywhere I go. It's in every project. It's in every team. And in fact, you don't even need a group of people to experience it. It can be in one-on-one relationships. Encounters with individual people, you will frequently run into a commitment and consistency problem. Talk is cheap, but true action and fidelity to our commitments, to our word, is truly rare. And I got to tell you, it's the difference maker. Here's the thing. We all do this. We all make commitments that we can't keep, that sound good on paper. Or maybe if we're being honest, they're too big when we dream them up. And maybe we even know we're not capable of keeping these, or at least in the way and in the time that we initially intend. Now, even though we all do it from time to time, and perhaps we should expect that this will always be a problem to some small degree. We can never reach perfection in this area, but it's the extent to which people don't honor their word and value their commitments that creates a great deal of the issues that we see in our team rooms, our companies, and in our cultures at large. I think it's a failure of great proportion that we place such low value on the commitments that we make. We have little loyalty to our word. Take a look around you. Notice this week, just make a checklist. Keep a running tally of how many people have to be excused for missing a promise that they make to you or your team after the deadline has passed. Notice how many people will even cancel or call in sick to avoid being accountable to a promise that they made to you or to a group at work. Well, how does this happen? What are the root causes of not being able to keep your word? of so many broken commitments? Well, they include, number one, overpromising. How many times do people promise the moon because we feel like it makes us look good to commit to large, noble things? All the while we fail to realize that when we consistently don't come through on those commitments, the size of the promise fails to impress. It doesn't dazzle anymore. Sometimes it could be we promise things, but we lose our energy throughout the day or the week. We have poor time and energy management. Many times we make promises with the best of intentions, but we're not really honest with ourselves about how much energy we have to actually complete those tasks and follow through. It could be, and these may be related, explainable by a lack of alignment between passion and the work that you do every day. Bottom line is, if you hate what you do, if you can't stand your work, you won't put in the effort to keep your grandest commitments. And sometimes the fault is not internal. Sometimes it's poor communications and unclear expectations. We may not understand what was being asked for. We may not understand what the outcome was. We may not understand what done and done well looks like. And even if we do, we may encounter blockers along the way and for whatever reason didn't get the help we wanted, or sometimes as common, we failed to ask for help when we really needed it. It could be a lack of internal urgency. It could be a sense of internal overwhelm. There's a bunch of different reasons why we're unable to keep those commitments. But in all of these cases, there are simple solutions available to us in the Scrum framework. And maybe the simplest one is this: asking for help. Not just in clearing your blockers, but to simply throw a flare sometime before the due date passes to say, I'm struggling to keep my promise. We've been given the tool of the stand-up so we can do exactly this. Every day we have an opportunity to say, this is what I promised and this is what kept me from keeping my promise. For some people, it's difficult to let go of our pride in accountability. We keep things close to our chest because we don't want others to see that we're struggling or to invade on our territory. But ultimately, if we don't know how to say, you know what, I thought I was going to be able to do this, I'm struggling to meet that deadline, can we either negotiate a new timeline or can I get some help, extra resources, extra investment, or a blocker cleared to help me keep my promise? That conversation alone should be the cornerstone of every stand-up meeting that you have. And if you do that well, at least, even though things may come in late, which is completely normal and totally forgivable, by renegotiating a new promise in the face of new and emerging information on the ground, we might miss a deadline, but we haven't blown a commitment. And there's a huge difference because our word is intact. And this is where a stand-up can be most effective because it's there to make visible the continuous movement towards a small goal. Your daily efforts don't have to be Herculean. They just have to be achievable and they have to be small. This is where the concept of proper sprint planning can really help. If you can keep individual commitments to half a day or a day in size or less, there's less of a chance that you'll go sliding past the deadline without any visibility to slippage or blockers. And yet with these two things in place, we still struggle. It's funny, it's almost as if people would rather be seen as late and subsequently unreliable than as needing help or needing to renegotiate an agreement. This is where you, as a leader, have to make it comfortable for your team to ask for help, to ask for a renegotiation, to make those accommodations comfortable, natural, and habitual. Because if we can do those, we will keep a higher percentage of our commitments. We keep our word to each other, and we build a culture around our accountability and trustworthiness in maintaining our word and maintaining our intentions. But there is one other way. If you're struggling with lack of accountability, if you're struggling with a failure to execute, and if you can't get communication and work visibility to assist you, if the Scrum framework is still failing you, here's one more thing to try. Rally your team around their group and individual identity. Ask them point blank, what do you want to be known for? Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up? For your team and for yourself. When you ask people, they'll tell you. And almost by default, as a matter of habit, they'll bring up the same qualities: dependability, trustworthiness, accountability. Well, great. Hold them to their own higher ideals. And the commitment to the smaller deadlines, to keeping their promises, will follow naturally. People are highly motivated by the group that they want to belong to, by the kind of person that they want to be. And when they see that their actions are inconsistent with those goals, those dreams, those identities, change can happen. And you as a leader can use those desires and that need to belong as a lever for your conversations. You no longer have to push with a stick. You can simply say, listen, you told me you want to be a person who is accountable to their word, who is dependable. Where do you think your actions have been in line with and out of line with those ideals? And in time, believe it or not, you can actually solve this widespread and all too common problem of a failure to execute because we don't know how to be true to our word. It's an awakening. It's a cultural difference, and you and I can be at the forefront of it. Guys, I hope this one inspired you and informed you. As always, you can reach out at badassagile.com or find me on Twitter at badass_agile and on Instagram at badassagile. I look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, stay badass.